Alright, so welcome back to some more MX versus ATV Supercross Encore. Today we're checking out the very last 2017 Replica track, that one being Las Vegas, and it's one of my favorite ones. The track is really awesome, okay? The track is really great, don't get me wrong, but the fact that I was kind of worried that they were gonna, reuse a stadium and then just kind of run it around inside of the stadium. I don't know, I was just a little bit worried about that, but they actually created an entire new one. Visually, it's really awesome. They even added this really cool freestyle area in the back, and I'll run some rounds on that at the very end of the video. But it's really, really cool. There's some really big lines. It's a really fun track. So we're gonna go check this out. One of my favorites so far this year. I don't know if it's my very favorite. The stadium itself is my favorite by far, but the track is really good too. So we're gonna go check it out and run some laps on the 2017 Las Vegas Replica. Okay, so jumping into lap one, we're gonna run a few laps. These first two laps are what most likely I'll end up running in like a race or something, whether it's in multiplayer or the AI. It's just a lot more consistent, and we're gonna do, I think I said that, we're gonna do two of these and then two a little bit faster ones. And the bigger lines aren't necessarily harder to get. I'll tell you what for me was really frustrating, but you can kind of see to the right there's a freestyle area, which is really cool. I don't know, I just didn't expect them to add that, but the track itself is longer. I don't know, I do run one race lap in here because I was getting some people complaining that they wanted to see it with tough luck. So this section right here, this triple quad, this is the section that I mess that up a lot. If I hit that 10 times, I bet I mess it up 4 or 5, 50% of the time. And you can jump into these whoops here, but I don't know, it throws your timing off enough that I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. The second set's pretty easy, and then we come backwards down the start straight, and that is a lap at Las Vegas. Now again, this is going to be exactly the same. We're going to triple, and then we're going to jump clear to this middle table, step on to the next one, and then step off. That's actually not a bad line. I feel pretty good about that one. I don't know if it's the fastest, but it's really consistent. And then triple, quad, and then we're going to jump clear onto the top of this kind of step-on type table. It's kind of a weird jump. I don't know. I feel like they're going to take maybe one jump out of each of those sections. It feels like they do that consistently for the real tracks. And then we're going to come down here. We're going to jump into the sand. Now, when I jump into the sand, I slow down pretty early because you can get pretty out of control. You're carrying a lot of speed into this. And then we're going to triple quad. Again, that section right there is probably the most frustrating for me. On top of the fact that it's kind of close to the end. So, if you're running a really good lap, you can easily mess it up right there. At least for a guy like me that makes, a fair amount of mistakes during a race. So it kind of sucks that that's at the end, but it keeps it interesting, I guess. Complicated. Now these next two laps are going to be the same. They're a little bit fast. We're going to quad in here, and then we're going to jump over. I feel like you can maybe jump to that top of that last table there and then step off, but I never was able to. Again, I bet I played for almost an hour on this track this time. Usually it's not quite that long, but it's tougher. And then when you have these longer tracks, it's a lot harder to get a really, there's a lot more chances for you to make mistakes. Come a little short, and then I run a weird wheelie there, so I don't know, it just kind of messed that up. So I wanted to get another one in just to keep it a little cleaner. And then everything else is going to be the same. We're going to hit this section and triple quad, but I don't really know how to explain it. The track has a really good flow to it if you're not messing up the rhythm sections. That little rhythm section there for me, again, is the toughest one. And then it's easy, even right here, it's easy to overjump this little double and then carry a bad rhythm into these whoops. Again, you could jump into them, but I don't know if that's necessarily faster. I don't really feel like it is. I feel like it's better to just choke up and then skim the tops of those whoops. Okay, so here's lap number 4, again, a quad, And then I really want to try and get onto the top of that table. I feel like it's very possible. But these lines, they're bigger, but I actually, when I was trying to get a really clean lap, I was over jumping, especially that second rhythm section. I was actually over jumping and kind of casing and throwing my rhythm off. They're not super hard. I don't feel like you have to really stretch for it. I mean, you kind of have to hit the outside on that second rhythm section to get that quad in, but you don't really have to whip glitch it or anything. I mean, we did a little bit there, but I over jumped them pretty easy, and this section I under jumped all the time because it feels like you don't have to hit it as fast as you do. It's one of those sections where you have to hit it a little bit harder than you think you do, or preload a little bit more, I guess is what I should say. And I kind of wish I would have jumped in these whoops just so you could see it, but again, I don't really think that's the best way through it. For lap number 5, we're going to throw in the realistic lap. We're going to triple here. Now, I'm not going to really say much because, first of all, I don't think that third step on that table there is going to be raised higher than the other ones, if there even is 3 there. And then I kind of triple through this section here. I don't know if they're going to hit it like that. This track, I swear, the last couple tracks that we got here, it was getting consistently harder and harder for me to try and do something realistic. The game's, I've said it almost every video, it's a video game, you know. It's big lines, high speeds, you know. It's awkward to try and get a really good, solid, consistent lap in. Here we're gonna double, triple, double, I believe. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I don't even get the double out because I don't know, I just didn't, I guess. So we single, but that's what I think they could possibly do. Again, I feel like the track will look a little bit different in real life. I know this is the layout that they have, but consistently they've changed a few things. I think all the rhythm sections will be missing 1 or 2 jumps in them just because it feels like that's a reoccurring theme. Okay, and here is the race lap that a few people have been asking for. I guess it is a little bit different, you know, seeing the top blocks and everything, you can for sure see what you can do. But we're gonna quad. We're gonna get the really big line here, and I think that definitely is faster. It's kind of a combination between the first 2 laps and the second 2 laps. It's just the opening lap, so it's not, you don't get a real good idea of what a lap time is, but for sure over a minute. I think even really fast laps by the top guys, I think for sure will probably be over a minute. I could be wrong. You know, on Xbox, which is what I'm playing on now, someone will find a way to get dust and probably run sub 1 minute lap times, but you know, those don't really count. So I think a legitimate lap time will be over a minute. I really don't know. Ran one race before this, which didn't go good at all. I was trying to get at least a clean lap, so I had to run this one. I don't remember what I was running though. I'm guessing somewhere around the 110, 112. I don't remember actually, but this was a pretty clean lap. Again, it was just the opening one, so this lap time isn't exactly what it will be. It doesn't even count the opening lap because it's just a partial one. Okay, and here is the freestyle arena, I guess, that they kind of put into the game, into this Las Vegas 2017 replica, and it's awesome. You know, I don't buy these games or play these games for the freestyle, but this is really cool. It's the only like dedicated freestyle arena type area that I can think that we have in the game. You know, you can free ride places and they have the freestyle ramps, and Squall Valley has like 100 or something like that, but nothing like this. And this is really cool. And the way they built it, I know I'm preloading on some of it, but if you just hit the corners, hit the berms, and get a good run, you really don't have to preload anything. And for me, you know, because I don't do a lot of freestyle, do a lot of tricks, it's nice because if I have to preload and do tricks, it's easier to do it this way. Plus, it's easier to throw a little scrub or a whip if you're not preloading for me. I know a lot of guys have no problem with that, but for me, just to try and throw a scrub or something, you know, kind of throw it off the jump before you leave, it's easier for me. So I think that was kind of cool how they thought it out. It has a nice flow to it. I mean, it's not just random jumps placed everywhere. It does have a rhyme and reason as to how you should go about it. We'll do this a little bit, and then we'll cut to a second part. And I will go over that middle jump again. There is 3 ramps leading up to that big middle jump that you hit off the starting runway back there. And the far right one, if you hit that, it's just a really big kicker. It's like you can throw a backflip off of it. It's like a step-up jump almost, but you have to hang it to the left, otherwise you just flatland, which is what I do, ironically, the first time I hit it. But the second time, you just curve to the left and you'll be fine. But I don't really know what else to say. I guess overall, the 2017 Replica Tracks, have you bought it? Have you not bought it? I totally think it's worth it. I don't remember how much it was. Was it $20? I think it was like $19.99 or something like that. Is it worth it? Definitely, without a doubt, I feel like it's worth it. You're getting pretty much like a second game, it feels like. It made it fun for me. It made it worth playing again. Yeah, I was just getting kind of tired of playing the game, to be honest with you. And after they brought in this, it was so fresh. And the fact that we got these tracks, you know, a few days before the actual race and could see what it was going to be like and whatnot was really, really cool. I thought that was great. Now, as far as I know, from what I've heard, now they could change, I don't know, but this is just what I heard. I don't think they're going to be doing a motocross Replica Tracks or anything like that. I don't think so. Unless something changes, as of right now, I've heard that they're not doing that, which it would have been cool, but you know, that would have taken a whole lot more work to get done, and who knows, maybe that's something they have planned for another game if they plan on doing that. I really don't know, but that's all I know. I don't think there's anything planned for the game in the future that I know of, so we'll have to see. Maybe there'll be new content, maybe they're just working on a second game or whatever it may be. Well, not a second game in the MX vs ATV franchise, but from Nordic and Rainbow being put together, a second game, I guess is what I should say. But it's worth it. It's worth it. If you want to ask, is this worth buying? Yes, I believe it is. I think all the tracks were great. I had some of my favorites. I don't know which one was my clear-cut favorite, but they're all really good. And Las Vegas is definitely up there, if nothing else, because they started from scratch. They built an entire stadium, everything from scratch. So really cool. Did a great job. Thumbs up to them. Awesome job. And thanks for the support on this series. Can't believe it's over. It feels weird. I'm almost sad to see it go. I can't hardly believe it. But thanks for the support on this series. It really means a lot. And I guess until the next video, take it easy.